And talking about things that, I don't love coming out of fall camp, the most obvious, certainly is the injuries on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I think that this one's a no-brainer. I think that, the loss of Avery Davis, as I talk about this, first of all, I think it's important, first to note, football aside, Notre Dame fandom aside, for most of us that are sitting here talking and listening right now, this hurts a lot for the person who is Avery Davis. Avery Davis, the guy, not necessarily just Avery Davis, the football player. And, for a kid, a guy that came to Notre Dame as a quarterback, moved to receiver, moved to defensive back, moved back to receiver, a guy that is going to bring not just football production, but leadership, speed, and just an overall day in and day out doing the things the right way, team before me type of a guy. The loss of Avery Davis can't be emphasized enough. As I thought about this, I've been asked and it's been discussed how Notre Dame replaces Avery Davis. And, the answer to that is, in a lot of ways, it's easy to replace Avery Davis. You got other guys, you got other talented guys on the football field. You got Chris Tyree, who can move out into the slot, and you play maybe 2 running backs, or you have a 2 running back set with a tight end and 2 wide receivers. Or, Matt Salerno is, if he plays within himself, can get a few snaps here and there. Xavier Watts certainly is going to be kind of in the mix, probably in that slot position. I'm not saying you never move Braden Lenzy to the slot, although I don't know that, as I mentioned earlier, that's what he's best at. So maybe, there are ways you can play 2 tight ends. Michael Mayer is not going to leave the field on offense. So you don't really have to worry about that. You bring in a second tight end, Eli Raritan or Holden stays, and, Mayer either moves out to the slot or one of those guys is in the slot. There's ways to replace Avery Davis, the football player. What you don't replace, what you simply cannot replace, are the things that I mentioned: the toughness, the team before me, the guy that you look across at in the huddle, and he's been through it before, and you trust, and he's all right, and so therefore you're all right. You just can't replace that with Avery Davis. And so, Notre Dame on the football field, yeah, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay replacing Avery Davis, the football field. You just don't replace that. You don't replace a captain like that. And so the best they can do is, next man up. I'm sure Avery's going to be a very vocal part of what goes on at Notre Dame in the wide receiver room and on Saturdays. If we know anything about him, he's going to be right there. He's going to be coaching those guys up. So I guess the bright spot of this is, Notre Dame just gained another really good wide receiver coach. And so, I don't know. Like I say, just an absolutely gut-wrenching loss to lose Avery Davis like that. I've heard, I think that Davis, theoretically could have come back another year. Seems pretty well, like if you read between the lines of what he posted on Twitter in his kind of goodbye letter, that's not going to happen. I've seen some speculate that Avery Davis is now probably no longer going to be at Notre Dame at all. I don't know the answers to those questions. If anybody has insight into that, you can kind of let me know. But regardless, big loss of Avery Davis. Let's put it that way. And then there's Jarrett Patterson, which is a whole nother thing altogether.